Welcome to the penthouse. I am a judge, and this is my verdict on the text match between Isaiah and Damien. Right off the bat, I got Damien edging this. Criteria-wise, it's gonna split, and it's gonna be preference. There's no confirmed winner criteria-wise. You'd have to split hairs right down to the molecules just to get a definitive winner based on an analysis of the criteria that they used and how they used it, because they pretty much both ticked every box and they pretty much were punching consistently for the most part. The edge where it comes in is Damien has a better use of implied punching, so he knows how to set up his idioms better, which gave his impact on some of those punches. They weren't all jabs. Isaiah's got a good understanding of the technique. He knows how to write to create a flow. He knows how to build imagery, and he knows how to angle. His directed angling in a personal fashion was way directed. Well, not necessarily personal, but you could tell he was talking directly to Damien, whereas Damien's angling was generic. It could have been for anybody, especially when he was talking about, there was a stage there where you could see that he was talking about Boogie, but the referencing afterwards made it seem indirect because he was talking about Boogie's girl, but there was no setup for the correlation or the transition into that next line. So it seemed like he was just writing to just right. Overall, Damien has more directed and implied punch statements. A lot of it is because he knows how to line hit. If you don't know what a line hit is, you aren't watching enough battles, so you better go watch more battles and see what a line hit is. But Damien knows how to line hit, and that added to his impact levels and his overall punch rate. He didn't have nearly as much internal swagger boost, but what he did do is he connected those line punches with internal rhyme sets, so they would cluster back to back. That's like a flurry combo in boxing, but in battle rap it just comes as a punch, 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 punch. All he needed to do was work better on those resolving hits on those end of those clusters, so that man, he could haymaker off it. You flipping entendre of some sort in there. If you can, just run back to back entendres. That should be dope. Isaiah, he had the more extrapolated builds, and in his builds he was slamming criteria like a motherfucker. So he was definitely putting the metaphors in there, the similes in there, and he's definitely putting those multis in there, those internals and external group multis. He's putting them all in there. But in the time frame with the lines he had to do all that, by the time he got to the hits weren't resoundingly hard. If you're going to waste 2 lines setting up a flow and a structure, just tick a criteria box, you better goddamn make sure that the statement at the end of those lines is a resounding haymaker, and that's where you were weakened at. Your statements don't just come across as hard hitting. You put all that set up in to swing your arm really, 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 really fast, like you're about to throw the meanest right hook, and then you slap him on the side of the face. What the fuck is up with that? So overall, it's a pretty good match. It's the first time I've seen Boogie. He's got the fundamentals down. I'll give him that. He just needs to work better on condensing his style to punch with impact. All that setup works well in a text format, but when I read that stuff, I try to picture how it's going to work on a live stage, or in a pit, or just with the homies. The homies will sit there bob their head to all those internal rhyme sets. Yeah, but they won't be listening to a goddamn word you're saying. They're waiting for that last statement, that hit, and that's where the style falls flat. You can tick every damn box you want when you're going for criteria, but if it doesn't work in a audio fashion, in a live fashion, you're just writing for writing's sake. So congratulations, Damien. I got you taking this one. Icon signing off.